Hello everybody and welcome back to the League of Yup for round number 9 of this Season 8 Championship. And we're here at, we're here in Australia for the 9th round of the Championship. And we have an interesting championship on our hands. Let me just pull up the results from last week so I can familiarize ourselves with what's been going on in Division 4 over the last few rounds. So last week, obviously, we had our second sprint race of the championship in France, and T-Brum took home the most points from that weekend with 35. Connor O'Keefe now trailing, Connor O'Keefe now trailing T-Brum by 23 points in the championship after being outscored by a solid 13. So all the work that he did in Britain to claw back those 20 points, T-Brum just gained them all right back. However, we still have a pretty decently tight championship up at the top, and we're looking to see if we'll have another good performance from T-Brum. Serial Killer's just starting a lap, so we'll ride on board with him a little bit. But last week, Harry Noirg took the race win, I do believe, on 26 points. I should actually probably look. I think these are different, but yeah, so Harry Noirg took home 26 points last week. He's only 9 points behind Connor O'Keefe in a third. NL Energetics did not race, so he's 26 points back behind Harry Noirg in fourth. And then Jamie Met is in fifth after taking home 14 from last week. He is now tied with Esteban for fifth and sixth. Saronje is in seventh. Jordan is in 8th, Jay Hings is in 9th, and then Poldypoles is the last of our top 10. But it is still close right behind him with Jess Gamer being only 2 points back, and then Ben Scott and Axel Kurz both tied on 31, so being 3 points back of Poldypoles in 10th. And then we have Swip in 14th on 22 points. And then we have 3 drivers tied on 18 points, being Old School, who scored no points last week, Robertson, who scored 8 points last week, and then Ghost Recon, who did not start last week. So still pretty close. We also still have Damon Jab on 15 and 14 points as Serial Killer spins around the third to last corner, turn 12 or 13. And then we have United Bosnia and Marcy, as I'm not sure why that Haas is trying to get out of the way. I guess that would be Poldypoles. Jamie Mutt starting. Damon's on a lap. Yep. We'll just ride on board through the final corner. And you'll have to tell me how the audio is doing. Oh my god, I could. Sorry about that. Got the best of me again. But, yeah. So Damon just finished his lap. I think Axel Kurz will be just starting, so it'll be a Haas. Is that Swip? No, Swip's just heading down to turn 1. There's a Mercedes. Is it Mats? Yes, it's got Mats to the line. It's 18.6. So the two Mercedes looking pretty decent already, but Saronje up at the top. That's someone that we normally don't see up at the front of the order. Being in 7th place in the championship, 50 points to his name. 3 fourth place finishes out of the last 4 races, which is pretty decent, but usually doing quite a lot better in the race. We'll see how he gets along here in Australia. T-Brum in 2nd as of right now. We have an AlphaTauri, I believe. That is, who's that going to be? That's Jay Hings just coming to the pits. And then we have Poldypoles coming here out of the final corner. Let's see what it's going to be for the Haas driver. Poldypoles 3rd in the orders, 3/10 back from T-Brum, 2.5 if you want to be really specific. A Ferrari just set a lap time. Is that Jamie Met? Yeah, that'll be Jamie Met. And then we have Axel, who's just coming through the final sector, as well as Swip just in front of him, or just behind him? Just in front of him. So we'll ride on board with Swip through the final corner. Looks pretty decent. And that final corner can be quite the tough corner. Swip goes P12 as Axel goes P8 at the 19.1. So a pretty decent lap time. But people are going to be looking to get into the 17s here, as you can already see people getting very close, being T-Brum and Saronje, 17.9 and an 18 flat. But after that, I'm not really sure if we'll see people into the 17s. The low 18s would probably be a very good time, would probably get you easily into the top 10. So looking for a 17 flat, looking to improve just by a few tenths of a second. So we'll see how those guys get on. Jay Hings is leaving the pit lane. Serial Killer just coming through the middle sector now. The final sector now. Connor will keep the same. And then we have Robert Sum, who's just heading through the middle sector as well. So let's get on board with Serial Killer, because he is going to be the next person on a lap, just heading through. Oh, what's it called? Here, I'm going to turn the... I don't even know if I can turn this down. Actually, I might be able to. There we go. So let's ride aboard with Serial Killer. So heading into turn 1 here, you're going to be downshifting down to 5th gear preferably, then run it on the apex. You want to use that AstroTurf to get the best run possible, and then maybe use a little bit of curve there on the exit of turn 2. But now swing it over to the left and braking into turn 3. 2nd gear, you want to go 3rd, 4th, maybe 5th to get a little bit of stability here through 4. But now we're going up the gears here through 5. That corner can be flat out, but you might want to have a little bit of a lift up in the race. And now these new section, turn 6 and turn 7. And now as we head through turn 8, just swinging all the way to the right. And then we'll go back to the left as we have a very fast chicane coming up on our hands. And then you want to go all the way over to the right-hand side, as close as the wall as you can get, down to 6th gear to flick it in. You want to use the curbs as much as possible, just avoiding them for now, as it's very early on in the session, through 9 and 10. And now heading into turn 11, braking down to 2nd gear. 3rd gear for the Ferrari driver, up to 6th, maybe down 1 gear. Nope, we'll stay in 6th, down to 5th as he's on the curb there, just getting that little mid-corner rotation and into the penultimate corner. 2nd gear, 3rd, 4th, 5th, there we go. Maybe you'd want to be up the gears a little bit faster, but just to get a little bit more still, a little bit extra stability. But that is going to be P11 there for Serial Killer. Who else is on a lap? I think Connor O'Keefe just went P7. Jay Hings, as Robertson has spun. Jay Hings is on a lap, so we'll see what he is able to do. Coming in here into this corner, using that curb, staying in 4th gear, though. That's what we like to see. And now heading to the left-hander, 3rd gear. You want to go 4th, 5th. Yeah, short shift as you get on the power. And he's going to go P12, so a 19.2. Just in front of Serial Killer. But, yeah, let's find someone on a good lap. Old School's on a lap in the first sector. Serial Killer already did his lap. Damon is in the middle sector, and Esteban is just heading to the 1st sector with a purple 1st sector. So we'll have to keep our eyes on him as Damon runs very, very wide. You're going to have to keep an eye on that corner as well. Very sketch. Can easily find yourself in the gravel trap on the left-hand side, into the right-hander of turn 11 after turning off DRS, and now up to 6th gear. You want to flick it in. Don't want to be on the grass in the exit, because that's just going to cause you to understeer through turn 12 there, now into 13, and through the final corner of 14. What is Damon going to be able to do? He's going to be coming to the line. There's a hash just in front of him. I think that's Pole's just starting, as his teammate's in the pit lane. It's an 18.5 and puts himself, or improves by a good 7.5 tenths of a second. Who are we going to watch on board with? I completely forgot. All I know is that Esteban has spun out of the final corner, and he might get disqualified here. I don't know what he's doing, and he's been disqualified. Yeah, that was not the smartest thing ever to do. I'm not really sure what he was doing there, but Esteban has been disqualified from the session. So everybody will move up 1 place. Who's on a lap? Old School is into the grass and has spun himself around. Jamie Met has invalidated. Marcy's on an out lap. Obviously, David just finished. Harry Noir is invalidated. Pulls through the middle sector. He's purple in the middle sector. He's up by 10.5. Wide there again, so the stewards might want to have a look at this. He's going to have to find a 10.5 if he wants to improve. Let's check on the top 2. They're cruising. Pulls now out of turn 11 through turn 12. Just flick it into 5th gear, and now swing it back over to the right for this left-hander of the penultimate corner, turn 13. And then up the gears, a little bit of lift as you flick it into the final corner, and then full on the power as you head down this pretty long run to the pit straight. And not the cleanest of final sectors, lost 3 tenths there. He was up by a 10.5, finished his lap down to 10.5. So not the greatest of laps for him. Let's see what T-Brum is doing because Saronje has backed up. T-Brum up by 0.3 of a second. This would be enough to easily put him on pole position for the time being. Let's see what he's going to be. Through the final sector we go. Through turn 11, looking pretty decent, using all the curve on the outside, and now flicking it into the third to last corner, and now braking into the penultimate corner. Third gear, fourth gear, short shifting, looking to find that traction. Move it over to the right, a little bit of a lift as we shift up to fifth gear, opening up the DRS. We hit sixth, seventh, eighth gear, and almost 190 miles an hour across the line. It's a 17.4. Jesus Christ. That is a very, very good lap there, and I do not think anyone will be touching that unless your name is Saronje. So let's ride on board for this whole lap. Obviously, DRS here on the pit straight, flicking in into turn 1 and 2. You want to use a little bit more curb on the inside, but only if your setup will allow it. Getting a little bit of a slipstream from the Aston Martin there as we break into turn 3, just coming from that DRS straight as well. That's going to be an overtaking point in the race. Through 4 in 5th gear, looking pretty decent. Up to 6th, a little lift as we head through 5, looking still good. There's a car in front of him. That car's going to have to get out of the way. Purple first sector. He's up by half a tenth. It's his teammate who's actually giving him slipstream. Ooh, this could come in clutch if he wants to get on provisional pole position as we head through 8. And now as his teammate is derating, that'll be Evil Dragon giving him a pretty good slipstream. What is the split time going to be through the middle sector? The Alpine getting out of the way. He's only up by a tenth and a half. It's not enough yet. He's going to have to find a lot more if he wants to find himself on provisional pole position. Purple in the middle sector, though. He's going to have to find all of it in the final if he wants to put himself in P1. Braking into turn 11, using the inside curve nicely. Short shifting to 4th gear, getting the traction, getting the run as we head through this corner. Down a gear and back on the power as we're braking into the penultimate corner. Saronje heading through turn 13 and through turn 14 and 5th gear. Get the power on. Open up the DRS as we head to the start-finish line. What is it going to be for Saronje? It's not good enough. He lost time in that final sector. It wasn't good enough in the final, and he only improves by a few thousandths or a few hundredths of a second. But I think that time from T-Brum is absolutely unbeatable. Jeez, oh my. I was not expecting T-Brum to be that quick. Yeah, so let's get on board with someone else as we're in the mid part of qualifying here, getting down towards the end of the session. As you can see, Sir Ibo selected inters. He was on a track on this inter, so that's a bit weird. Old school. Old school is backed off, so he's not on a lap right now. Jahing's on a lap, purple middle sector, and all of that goes away. So he was up by 2.5 tenths. I would have put him on a 19 flat, which would have been good enough for P9, but being in P12 right now, making that mistake isn't really helping his cause. Is Jay Hings? Is there anyone else on a lap? Damon's on a lap. As he's just crossed the start-finish line to start it. Ooh, getting to know the track limits there. Is Damon? I thought he was going to invalidate on the exit of turn 1, but doesn't on the exit of turn 2. Really a lazy invalidation, if you ask me. It's so much easier to carry way too much speed into 1 and invalidate on the exit, or the inside of 2, if you will. But we'll just watch on board through the rest of this final sector, or this first sector. I'd imagine he'd be into the pits to put on his final set of soft tires. He's up by a tenth and a half. That's pretty decent, you know. I mean, he did have a very good run through 1 and 2, but we'll have to look at that. So good enough to be on the front 2 rows of the grid at the minute. Damon through the middle sector, really only 1 corner, and then it just depends on your wings. Through the middle sector, he's up by 2.5 tenths, so what would that be? That would be a 0.25, so good enough for P3, but he's really going to have to iron out those mistakes. As you can already see, he has the pace, but 15 points to his name in this championship through 8 rounds is not really doing what it was not giving him the respect that he would want. As you can see, he's just understeering. Either the tires are too hot. Please don't finish this lap. All right, good. Tires are way too hot, over pushing them. Maybe overcooked them on the formation lap, or not on the formation lap, on the warm-up lap, but we shall see. Connor O'Keefe is on a lap as well, heading through the turn 13 there, now into, I believe this is 14. Let me get my track map back up just to make sure. No, through 13 and 14 now, 14 being the final corner. Turn 8. P8 for Connor O'Keefe, and he'll stay P8 once again, unless he was just... Maybe he's just starting now. Why did it say out? Oh, man, this game's so broken. Anyways, Poldy Poles is on a lap. He's up by 2.5 tenths of a second, so looking to dip into the 17s here possibly is Poldy Poles. We'll see what it's going to be for the Haas driver. Just heading into turn 11. A little bit too much curve for my liking there from the Haas driver. Now into 12 down to 5th gear to get that rotation. Keep it on the track. It's very easy to invalidate there on the exit of 12 as we head through 13 and through 14. Bring it over to the left and swing it back through the right-hander of 14 so you can get the best run possible on the start-finish line. It wouldn't matter too much if it weren't so far away. He lost a little bit of time, though. It's only an 18-1, and unless he backs off and goes again, I don't think he's going to have enough time to do another lap. Harry Noir, is he just starting or is he finishing? No, he will just be starting, so Damon's on another out lap. He'll have just enough time, I'd imagine. There's an Aston Martin. That would be Robertson on an out lap. We have Energetics heading through the final sector. Jamie Met is in the final sector as well. He's just going to be starting another lap. Same with Axel, Connor O'Keefe into the pit lane. So let's see. Let's see if we can find some people on laps. Ecos Mass just starting. T-Brum just lining up for one as well. So, Saronje, I mean, I guess, Poldy Poles is backed off. It looks like most people are just starting, so we'll just try and find someone. I saw Swift just cut the track there. Energetics to the line. See what it's going to be. His first lap time, 28.025. He's going to be going again, of course. Backed off on that one. Robertson is on a lap, and I think he's going to be the first one, actually. So, we'll see if everybody else gets across the line. Connor O'Keefe retires in the pits, and Jamie Matt crashes on the exit of turn 5. There's a Ferrari to the line, actually. Is that Serial Killer? Serial Killer, a 19.6, not good enough to improve. That's a Red Bull, as Old School's off in the gravel. I don't see any improvements for Harry Noir or Poldy Poles or Marcy or Serial Killer or Swift. So let's ride on board with Robertson. A little bit too much curb there through turn 11. There's a Haas behind him. I don't know what he's doing. Oh, he has a broken front wing. Yeah, that would make sense. So let's get on board with Axel. Is Axel improving at all? He's really low on ERS and he's really low on fuel, and he's going to be heading to the pit lane. So T-Brum has invalidated, so he's not going to be able to improve on his final lap. So there's an Alfa Romeo. That'll be Marcy, who's just finished. Saronje through the penultimate corner, short shifting 4th, 5th gear, a little bit of a lift, put it down, put the throttle down there. And what is it going to be? Is he going to be able to beat T-Brum? I'd imagine not, but he finds almost 2/10 of a second, puts himself onto a 17.7. Harry Noir just has already crossed the line. Energetics goes P8. I'd say that's pretty decent for only setting one lap in the session. Ecos Mats goes up to 4th. That's a decent lap for him. Damon, after his interesting qualifying session, goes up to P3 and puts himself onto the 2nd row of the grid. That's a very good result there for Damon. I think the last one is going to be Old School. Ibo also just crossed the line, found 3/10 of a second, put himself on a 22.4 in 18th. So the last person to come across the line or to head to the pit lane is going to be Old School, but it's T-Brum absolutely dominant here in qualifying, a 17.458. And yeah, that's going to easily put him on pole position. Sharonje, 3/10 of a second behind him. And then Damon in 3rd, another 4/10 behind that. So the guys up at the front so far and clear away. Poldy Poles close enough to Damon, but there's still a decent gap between Mats, Dragon, Harry Noir, Energetics, Connor O'Keefe, and then Axel rounding out the top 10 on a 19.0. So over a 1.5 seconds splits the top 10. That is absolutely ridiculous there from those top guys. I wonder how long my mic is being muted and how long I've been talking for, but yeah, I was just going through the grid, yeah, Esteban will be on the final row of the grid all by himself, as we only have 19 drivers in the race, or in the lobby. And now, looking at this, it seems like we have some intermediate conditions here in division number 4, and we'll be able to confirm that suspicion as soon as this countdown timer is up. And I wonder what type of strategy is, or I wonder what the weather is going to be looking like here. It'd be interesting to see. I wonder if anybody in the Division 4 chat said anything. It does look like Inters. So, it's dry, and it's not dry. People said it was going to be dry, but it is wet, so that's great. So yeah, let's get everything up on the screen here. So yeah, as you can see, everybody's on intermediate tires, so should make the strategy pretty simple. The call to the dry tires, though, that's going to be the interesting one if we do ever get to that switching period, or possibly the period to switch to the wets. We never really know what's going to happen with the rain, but I'd imagine it'll get dry over the course of the race. So, yeah, we will see how this strategy, or how the strategy games are going to play out, because usually if we were in the dry here, it'd be a pretty easy either, interesting. Be a pretty easy either medium hard or hard medium. If you're doing the medium hard, you pit around roughly lap 10. If you're doing hard medium, you'd want to pit around lap like 17-ish. But either way, the tires should make it pretty far into the race, either mediums or hards. But we will see how this. Oh, that is going to be a disqualification for T-Brum there. Evil Dragon gets disqualified as well. Saronje puts it right on his marks, going straight ahead, looking to find that, looking to find the position for the perfect start into turn 1, as Esteban is now just lining up. So we will get to the front as soon as we can, and we shall see. But here it is for, where is T-Brum? There's T-Brum. For the Australian Grand Prix, round number 9 here of the 8th season of the League of Europe, and it's lights out, and away we go here in Australia. It looks like T-Brum's going to get a pretty decent start, but Saronje might just be side by side. I think Damon's in the middle of the circuit, but Poldypulse is on his inside into turn 1, and T-Brum, or not T-Brum, Poldypulse has been spun around up at the front. Harry Noir is off into the grass, and his Red Bull teammate is looking to make the overtake, but T-Brum leads from Saronje into turn 1, and now down towards turn 3. Damon is in 3rd place. Energetics and Harry Noir going side by side, and I think Energetics is just going to make his way in front. Connor O'Keefe is leading Axel and Ecos Mats, who's side by side with Evil Dragon. A little bit of contact between the two, and now there's an Alfa Romeo up the inside of Ecos Mats. Ecos Mats into the grass and into the and onto the curb there on the exit of turn 5, and he's going to be all the way down to P10. He's really struggling in this race. Is ready. Oh, Saronje, our second place finisher, or our second place starter, is already out of this race, and we have a virtual safety car, so everybody can just cool down a little bit. Esteban from last on the grid is up to P10 as well. Ecos Mats lost a ton of places on that start. Ecos Mats down 4 places, and that's with Saronje's crash as well. But Saronje losing it on the exit of turn 8, that's unbelievable. Because now T-Brum is going to be so far out into the lead. Damon's already 2 seconds behind him. Energetics is the furthest 2 seconds back, so we're going to have the gaps just shoot up in the clean air. But yeah, as you can see, T-Brum leads. Damon's up a place. Energetics up 5 places. Harry Noir up 3. Connor O'Keefe and Axel both up 4. Evil Dragons has lost a place, or Evil Dragon has lost a place. Marcy up 3. Ipcos Matt's up 4. And then Esteban up 9 places from last on the grid to P10. That is a very good result for him, as someone is pit. Jay Hings is into the pit lane. I'd imagine for a new front wing, or not for dry tires anytime soon, because yeah, as you can see, no front wing on the front of that Alpha Tower. But we are racing again here in Australia, so we already have 1 casualty of the rain. This track is already difficult enough as it stands, but with the extra element here in the elements, being the rain, it can be so very difficult just to keep it on track. Heading through turn 6 and 7, now through turn 8, it can be so difficult. You just have to maybe a little bit of lift. If it was wet in qualifying, it's easily a lift there if you're trying to gain the most time. Connor O'Keefe and Harry Noir almost making contact between the McLaren and the Red Bull, and Connor O'Keefe will just have to back out as Harry Noir will lead his way through 9 and 10. Goes a little bit wide though on the exit, and Connor O'Keefe getting the switch back, and he's going to be up into P4. I don't think Harry Noir is going to have the straight line speed nor the ERS to be able to defend that overtake, and Connor O'Keefe up to P4, looking to showing already that is pretty decent pace. Someone who should have decent pace and started in 3rd in this race, VE_Damon. But he's already made a mistake on this one as he dropped a further 3 seconds to T-Brum, and now he's going to have Energetics right on his tail with his teammate just behind the Red Bulls. T-Brum sets the fastest lap of the race on 1:30.091. He is absolutely flying up at the front. Evil Dragon MP7 for now has pulled 2.1 seconds to Marcy behind. Ecos Matt struggling as well. Esteban up from last on the grid, just trying to find his feet in this race. He's P10 as of right now. Jamie Matt is right behind him. Robertson falling slightly. And then Serial Killer P13, Old School P14, Poldy Poles in P15 after spinning or being spun by Damon on the lap 1. He's in P15. And then Swip Ibo and Jay Hings, P16, 17, 18, 18th place, obviously belonging to Jay Hings, as he did lose his entire front wing on the first lap. But looking back now, as Energetics is off into the grass, I'm not sure why he's there, but he's now into 4th place as Connor O'Keefe has overtaken him. Energetics looking around the outside, heading into turn 9, and he's not going to be going for that move. That wouldn't be the greatest of ideas for Energetics. They're using all of the curve that he can, using all the ERS that he can as well. Connor O'Keefe not using his ERS to defend. As long as he goes to the middle of the track, he shouldn't have to, but he's just going to stay on the racing line, and Energetics is going to have to stay behind for the time being. So he'll stay 4th after that mistake, with Connor O'Keefe up into 3rd, and it's looking like a pretty decent day already for McLaren. But as I say that, I'll probably jinx both of them. So we'll see how this race proceeds going into the next however many laps. Maybe we'll get a strategy change, maybe we'll get a weather change, as T-Brum sets the fastest lap once again, and he's absolutely flying away from Damon at the time being. I'm just trying to look for a decent lap time. Ecos Mats MP9 is a 1.5 seconds slower than T-Brum. Absolutely ridiculous. But Harry Noir MP5 picks up a 3-second time penalty. That's going to be the first driver on 3 seconds now, as he is in P5, so currently losing out to Axel, Evil Dragon, and Marcy. Ecos Matt's falling too far back to take advantage of that penalty, and Esteban not really making any impression on the Mercedes in front of him. However, Jamie Matt and Robertson are starting to pressure the Alfa Romeo into possibly losing some places. I say that. Robertson drifts very well wide of the apex at turn 5, as he is still trying to look to possibly make up a few positions. I would imagine it'd be pretty difficult having Jamie Matt right in front of him, as Robertson is all over the road here in the wet conditions here in Australia, going into the grass within twice within 3 corners on the same lap. So as you can see, he's off almost into the grass again, having to downshift the gear in what could possibly be a flat out corner in the dry. So interesting. Jamie Matt getting close to the back of Esteban, but we'll check back in with that as we have a yellow flag, and that's Poldy Poles, who has spun around in the exit of turn 10 down that DRS straight there. Obviously no DRS though, of course, as now the 2 Red Bulls are starting to fall very far away from the two McLarens as Connor O'Keefe is up into second place. And now Axel Kurz looking up the inside of Energetics. He's just going to have to back out for the time being. Looking for a switchback. No, he's not going to be able to get it as Robertson has, or I think Esteban has made a mistake because he's fallen behind Jimmy Matt Robertson and Serial Killer. As now Axel and Evil Dragon swapping places, and the Alpine will get in front of the two Red Bulls. Evil Dragon flying the flag solo here for Alpine is Evil Dragon. He gave his teammate slipstream in qualifying, and now he's the lead Alpine by, well, he's the only Alpine in the race here on lap 5. Ooh! And just as I say that, Commentator's curse, he finds his way into the wall with wing damage, and now he's going to be dropping. He's going to be dropping pace. He's going to be dropping positions, and I'm sure he'll be dropping a few gears to hit the pit lane quite soon. But you can see the understeer in that Alpine, but even though he's still faster than Harry Noir, what is going on? He's using his ERS. He's looking to the outside. All Harry Noir has to do is stay in front, and Evil Dragon gets the switch back. Uses a little bit too much curb, and he's going to have to stay behind for the time being. I'd imagine he'll be into the pit lane unless, but Harry Noir might possibly have damage as Marcy and Axel Kurz also going side by side. They're going side by side in front as well. Is Evil Dragon going to go to the pit lane? No, he stays out for now, and Harry Noir around the outside of the final quarter can't quite keep the position, and Marcy can't quite make the overtake on Axel Kurz through the final few corners there. Harry Noir back past Evil Dragon. Is he going to try it? He tries to keep it down the inside, but it's not quite going to work as Evil Dragon gets a better run through 1. And now getting the better run through 2 as well. He has more ERS. Evil Dragon is Harry Noir going to dive it. He dives it up the inside. He's braking really late as Axel is still going down the inside of Marcy as Harry Noir has a little bit of a snap, and that's going to allow Marcy through into P6 for the time being. They're going to go side by side through 5. Harry Noir just has to back out of it for the time being, so Marcy's going to be up into P6, and he's going to be the one challenging Evil Dragon, who does, remember, have that left end plate damage. Harry Noir down to 7th now after losing 2 places on that last lap. Axel is in 8th, and now Ecos Matt has joined the party, along with JV Matt as well, who's in P10. So now this train comes from 5th to 10th, and quite a few drivers in said train. As just looking back through this train, Axel has dropped a position to Ecos Mats. Ecos Mats now defending it with his life as Pulley Pulls makes his way past Swip. Axel Kurz will back out of his attempt to move there at turn 11, and he's going to stay in P9 for now. T-Brum sits the fastest lap of the race once again on 129.4. I don't think anybody will be touching that unless we get into either dry conditions or the rain starts to dissipate. But Ecos Mats is in P8. Norg is in P7. Marcy is in P6, but not exactly staying on the back of Evil Dragon. So Evil Dragon, even with that wing damage, really is doing quite well for himself as he goes very wide at turn 2. We'll just act like nobody saw that, you know? But I'm sure that wing damage is affecting him the very slightest amount. As you can see, a little bit wide of the apex there is Robertson and Esteban going side by side down towards turn 3, and the Aston Martin has made his way past the Alfa Romeo, and he's going to be up in 12th place into the point scoring position once again for the Aston Martin driver. Now he only has 1.7 seconds to close up to the guys behind. As I say that, he goes off track once again. It feels like every single time I'm on board with Robertson, he's in the wall as Damon is out, and we all could have expected it, and there's a full safety car. So that, I mean, it doesn't change too much, really. It'll just bunch everybody up. It'll allow Connor O'Keefe to get closer to T-Brum, who was pulling slightly away from the McLaren driver. Is T-Brum going to pit? I'd imagine not. He could probably, if he wanted fresh intermediate tires. He'd be out behind Connor O'Keefe, but in front of Energetics. So, and he's, yeah, going to be into the pit lane. Let's see what Connor O'Keefe does then. And he's in as well. So, it'd be kind of risky for anybody anybody named Energetics, Evil Dragon, Marcy, Harry Noir, Matt, Axel Kurz, basically anyone below 2nd to make that pit stop. Energetics in, Evil Dragon in, Marcy in, unless, you know, everybody makes a said pit stop. Harry Noir in, Matt's in, Axel in, Jamie Met will stay out. That's an interesting call, so he's going to try and take the track position. He's going to be out in front of Connor O'Keefe, but behind, actually no, he's going to be behind Connor O'Keefe and in front of Marcy. So an interesting decision there as Esteban picks up a 5-second penalty for speeding the pit lane, even though he's up a lot, or quite a few positions. Has anyone else stayed out? Old School has stayed out. That's the Old School that we like to see. The guy who stays out on very worn tires and holds up absolutely everybody. That's the guy that I wanted in this Division 4 race. Did anyone else stay out? I'd imagine not. Swip will take a new front wing. Did Evil Dragon get a new front wing? Let's see if we can spot it. It'll be his left end plate, and yes, Evil Dragon did take a new front wing, so his pace should be much improved from those last few laps after breaking his front wing. But let's go through the order very, very quickly. So we have T-Brum leading the way, followed by Connor O'Keefe and Jamie Met in third, and Old School in fourth. Obviously, Jamie Met and Old School yet to pit in this race. So net fifth is Energetics, followed by Marcy, Evil Dragon, Axel, Matt, Serial Killer, Esteban, Harry Noir being in the top 12. Robertson, P13, Polypoles, P14, and then Swip, interestingly enough, has pit for wets. The Williams being the experiment team because Swip is on wets when it's obviously injury conditions, and Ibo is on hards in obviously injury conditions. So not really sure what's going on as, but besides them, Jay Hingson is a solid P16. Between those two Williams drivers, so we'll have to wait for Ibo to catch up. And I'd rather not watch him. I'd rather just watch everybody file around behind the safety car. However, though, it would be quite the entertainment. As you can see, hard tires are not exactly it at the moment, Ibo. But you never really know how the weather's gonna play out. It could go absolutely bone dry right now, or for whatever reason. It won't, but it could. See how Ibo takes turn 9 here. It locks up into turn down to 5th gear. Barely makes the corner. And yeah, those hard tires are absolutely dreadful. And now he's crashed into the wall, and he hasn't lost his wheel. Boo! I mean, yeah, Jess. Yeah, Swip has decided to pit back onto intermediate tires. I'd say that's a pretty good decision there from Swip. And Ibo has broken his front wing, so that's going to be another pit stop for Ibo. And I'm sure, hopefully, he'll go on to a set of intermediate tires. But the fin on his helmet isn't exactly working for him today. Yeah, so hard tires maybe not being the best decision. And I wouldn't choose a broken front wing either, but yeah, so T-Rum leads, and he's been absolutely dominant so far in this race, and we've only had barely 9 laps, so I don't know if it's too early for me to predict another T-Rum win, but we'll see how it plays out. Connor O'Keefe is in second, Jamie Matt in third, Old School fourth. As I mentioned already, Jamie Matt and Old School still yet to pit in this race. So it'll be interesting to see how they get their strategy planned out. Obviously, I can't predict the weather, but based on the fact that they're staying out, I'd hope for their sake that there will be dry weather coming very, very soon in the near future. And I believe this is the third lap behind the safety car. This one coming up, so we should be underway once again on this next lap, even though Ibo will have not caught up, as he's a minute and 2 seconds behind currently. But we shall see. But is there anything to talk about, really? Anything I can waffle about? I mean, not really. Oh, besides the fact that I am, I'm going to the U.S. Grand Prix in a few weeks' time. At the Circuit of the Americas down in Texas. So, very excited for that. As Ibo has picked up a 3-second time penalty for cutting corners. Yes, very excited for that. However, tickets, who would have thought the tickets for Formula 1 Grand Prix are very, very expensive. They're like over $500. I mean, this is secondhand sales, of course, because, well, we waited way too long to get normal tickets. But it's like $100 just to get in on Friday. for general admission. Everybody has, or all the tickets from Saturday have been bought because there's an Ed Sheeran concert, I do believe, on the Saturday. So I'd imagine everybody wants to go see Ed Sheeran. The safety car is going to be in this lap. And then on Sunday, we were able to get tickets from some random guy on Facebook Marketplace. Ow, that hurt. On Facebook Marketplace for a solid like $500 each. So that was interesting. As Ivo has picked up 3 seconds of time penalties somehow under the safety car. I'm not really sure, but T-Brum will lead us. I want to look at those penalties. As Esteban has picked up a 5-second penalty, that'll be for speeding in the pit lane, and then Harry Noir picked up his 3-second penalty before the safety car for cutting corners. But now we will see T-Brum will lead us away. Bets on where he goes. I say just out of the final corner because he can get an amazing jump, and he's full throttle already coming out of here. So I'd imagine he'll just go and go and go and go and run off and into the distance. But Connor O'Keefe will try his best to stay with the Mercedes driver. He has a pretty decent restart as Connor O'Keefe. He hasn't fallen too far back, but Jamie Matt and Old Skull already dropping away. I'd imagine Energetics, Marcy, Evil Dragon, Axel, Ecos Mats, Serial Killer, Harry Noir, Esteban will be all on their case very, very quickly to try and make up those two net positions that they would have lost in this race already. Evil Dragon and Marcy going side by side. Is that Old School almost off of the track in the background? Marcy and Evil Dragon going side by side. Energetics losing a position with Old School blocking the road. Andy picks up a 3-second time penalty. Marcy around the outside of Old School at turn 5. What a move there by the Alfa Romeo. It's just a shame he had to go off the track to complete said move, but Evil Dragon's up into 4th. Marcy up to 5th as Old School has been spun around and he's been hit. He's just braked here. It's better to just let everybody go past as it's one more car that'll be swept. But Old School, the decision to stay out has not benefited him at all. He's now down to 16th, and he still has to make a pit stop no matter what. Or he still has to make a pit stop. So I'd imagine so anyways, because it would not be fun to stay out on those tires as there's a Mercedes going very slow. That's Ecos Matt's down to 12th. Robertson looking to make a move on Serial Killer for P10. The Aston Martin going side by side with the Ferrari. He's looking around the outside. Ecos Mats and Poldypoles are going side by side as well, but Poldypoles looking to make a move on Serial Killer as well. But no, he's going to have to stay in behind. He's going to have to stay in P12 for the time being. Any other moves? T-Brum and Connor O'Keefe are still pretty close as Axel Kurz has been shoved off the track, I think, by NL Energetics, or was trying to make a move on Energetics, one of the two. But I think I just saw him off the track there at the penultimate corner. But yeah, he's going to be in P7 for now. Energetics just heading through turn 1 as Ecos Mats has come into the pit lane. That would explain why he was falling through the order so fast for the second time in this race. It'll be front wing damage for him as it is still raining and would be no reason to change from the intermediate tires. So battles on track. Connor O'Keefe and T-Brum are staying pretty close together. Jamie Matt falling away from them as he just doesn't quite have the pace, especially on those very, very old tires. Evil Dragon in 4th, 1.6 seconds behind Jamie Matt. And then you have Marcy far behind, and then Energetics, who's leading this train, as he's also side by side with Axel Kurz heading through turn 8 and out through this windy straight kind of thing. As Energetics is going to be on the outside line, and I think Axel is just going to keep it in front as Energetics almost into the back of the Haas. No DRS, of course, here in the wet conditions. It's been disabled for all drivers, no matter how close you are. But in turn 11, Axel Kurz will stay in front and has just a little while to go catch up to Marcy, who does have that 3-second time penalty. But so does now Energetic and Harry Noir. Esteban with a 5-second penalty as Connor O'Keefe has set the fastest lap of the race, a 129.060. That's a good lap from him as he's trying to stick very close to T-Brum, and he's doing that quite well as of right now. But besides this little train, there aren't too many battles on track. Esteban still trying to recover from his disqualification, if you'd like. He's up to P9 right now, looking to try and overtake Harry Noir out on track. Both of them have penalties. Esteban just having 5 seconds instead of 3. Swip picks up a 3-second time penalty, speaking of them, as he's in P14, but we're on lap 13 here in the League of Europe. Round number 9 of season number 8 is this race. So So, yeah, Esteban in P9 for the time being. But T-Brum or Connor O'Keefe holding on valiantly to try and stick with T-Brum. It looks like Connor O'Keefe has a pretty decent amount of pace. Just qualifying didn't seem, I guess qualifying just didn't seem to quite go Connor O'Keefe's way. And a battle on track. Esteban and Harry Noir going side by side. The Alpha Male looking around the outside. A little bit of a lock up there on the front right. But Harry Noir is going to keep P8 for the time being. I didn't even think Esteban could get that good of a run. But Harry Noir must have had the most awful turn 9-10 complex ever. As T-Brum sets the fastest lap of the race. 128.904. Connor O'Keefe not too far behind him, was he? As he picks up a 2-second time penalty. And that's surely going to ruin his chances of winning. Because T-Brum can kind of just cruise now. But it'll be interesting to see how T-Brum uses that penalty against Connor O'Keefe, as he is leading right now. Any other battles? Evil Dragon is close up to the back of Jamie Met, so he's going to be looking to step onto the podium whenever he feels like it. Marcy, Axel Kurz all still separated, and then Energetics and Harry Noir, as well as Esteban, almost falling away from the drivers in front of them. Their gaps, all three of them, almost over a second, as Evil Dragon and J-Mac go side by side, and Evil Dragon gets that overtake done. I was not expecting it to be that early. I was not expecting, especially through turn 8, as Esteban picks up another 3-second time penalty, and he's going to be up to 6 seconds now, or is it 8? Yeah, it's 8 seconds now. So, yeah, the weather gods not doing him justice, really, are they? With the rain, more understeer. Can't slow down as fast, but yeah, he really just have to be a little bit more careful. But the guys up at the front are absolutely flying away. T-Brum leads by a second to Connor O'Keefe, who leads Evil Dragon by almost 7 seconds. But Evil Dragon looking to close him down a little bit. Jamie Met lagging a little bit here too, as you can see. He's dropped away from Evil Dragon, so Evil Dragon obviously faster than Jamie Met, as he's on the podium right now. Marcy is in 5th, 3.3 seconds behind Jamie Met, as Robert Esteban will get overtaken once again by the Aston Martin of Robertson. And Robertson is going to be up at a P9 with no penalties, so still has a decent shot as of right now at P8. Not close enough to get Energetics at P7. Actually, just maybe. It depends on what type of pace he's able to show after he made that move on Esteban. So should be interesting to see. Going wide once again there is Robertson, Serial Killer, and Serial Killer, or no, Polypoles and Esteban. Oh, did Esteban spin? Or make a mistake, because he was right on the back of Robertson, and now he's behind Serial Killer and Polypoles, so that is a problem. As T-Brum picks up a 3-second time penalty, so that's something that you don't normally see. Maybe the conditions really are just getting the best of him. Connor O'Keefe in P2 has picked up his 3-second time penalty just a few laps ago. And then Evil Dragon is a P3, followed by Jamie Met P4. Jamie Met yet to pit, but Evil Dragon could possibly go to the end of the race on those tires. Axel in 6th. As of right now, kind of a little in no man's land, just a little bit, because obviously no one has DRS. So as Esteban, Esteban's out, and that's going to be another full safety car. So surely you can't pit. Well, Jamie Met surely has to pit, I'd imagine. But if other players pit with them, that could be pretty good for the Ferrari driver. I guess we'll just see I guess we'll just have to see how it plays out. But yeah, let's see what T-Brum does up at the front. So, yeah, this is going to be very interesting because now Old School is right in the thick of the action here, with everybody inside the top 10 or inside the top 5 staying out, everybody outside the top 5 deciding to pit. Well, that's after position changed, of course. So Evil Dragon, he was in 3rd, but now he's in 6th, being on a fresh set of intermediate tires. Jamie met as well, but yeah, so this is going to be quite the strategy. Just to remind the viewers at home, you do have only a total of 4 sets of intermediate tires. So most people will be on their 3rd, and some people could, or only a few people could possibly be on their 4th already. Let me check my theory. Hold on, I want to make sure I'm not waffling. If I could check the race director, please. Thank you. So, Old School's on a 3rd. Oh, darn. I thought he was going to be on his 4th. But Ecos Mats is the only person to use all 4 sets of intermediate tires so far in this race, which is quite the accomplishment, as we've only been through 16 laps with 2 safety cars. But I am not one to hate. But, yeah. So, T-Brum will lead. We have Old School in 2nd place, and then we are 2nd place on track. But he is obviously a lap down. Connor O'Keefe is in 2nd. Axel's in 3rd. Energetics is in 4th. Harry Noir is in 5th. Evil Dragon in 6th. The first driver on fresh inters, followed very closely by Jamie Matt, both of them having no penalties. Jay Hanks P8, Marcy P9, also on fresh inters, and then you have Swip. And then Serial Killer, Poldy Poles, Roberts, Ecos Mats, those 4 being on fresh tires. And then you have Ibo, and then obviously Old School, who is also on fresh inters, and that's what really did him dirty, was pitting for that fresh set of intermediate tires there. Because that is what put him very close, but nonetheless a lap down. And he's also let Connor O'Keefe through, so I'm not really sure how that's worked, but it has, and the game has allowed it. I'd imagine the game would want Old School to go through, but I guess it doesn't really matter. Alright, at least that's how it would work. In real life, the lap cars would be let through once everybody catches up, and then we have one more lap of safety car. But that is not how the game works. So we shall see. Ooh, Old School. Okay. What? Interesting. Okay, so I have no idea what I just witnessed. So Old School almost hit Connor O'Keefe as a safety car. Wait, what? Was that safety car in? Oh shoot, the safety car in this lap. What? He's not even close. Game. Anyways, so yeah, safety car in this lap. T-Brum leads from Connor O'Keefe. Both of them having 3 seconds. The wrong button. Both of them have 3 seconds penalties. And Axel Kerr is in 3rd with no 3-second penalties, as Old School is doing whatever Old School wishes. And he's going to be... Oh, and he's into the wall, and he's broken his front wing. That's just the Mark thing doing it. But anyways, T-Brum leads from Connor O'Keefe. That battle is going to be going on for the rest of the race now as they're fighting for net P1. Is Connor O'Keefe possibly going to have a shot? Use your ERS, Connor. Please make something interesting happen up at the front of this race. Don't let T-Brum win. Oh, and he backs off. Oh, no. But we've had an incident, I think, as NL Energetics has backed off. He's lost a ton of positions. Marcy's up to 8th. Jang's up to 7th. Jamie Matt is in 6th. Evil Dragon's up 2 positions already on the safety car restart on his fresh tires, and he's going to be absolutely flying up to the back of Axel Kurz, and it does look like, indeed, that's going to be dry, or it's going to be wet for the rest of this Grand Prix. So Evil Dragon up to 4th now, looking ever so dangerous to Axel Kurz, Connor O'Keefe, and T-Brum. Jamie Matt is in 5th, followed by now Harry Noir, previously Jay Hings, Marcy in P8, Energetics down to P9. Does he have a front wing? That is the real question. It doesn't look like it. It doesn't look like Swip has a front wing either. But yes, Energetics does have a front wing, and he also has 6 seconds penalties now. As Swip making his way, or is getting passed by Poldy Poles for P11, and there's also Aston Martin up his inside. That will be Robertson, who was looking for was looking dangerous there into turn 11, but unable to make anything happen. Ecos Mats around the outside of Robertson as well, but. Let's get back up to the front because it's T-Brum leading Connor O'Keefe by 0.6 of a second, looking to make this race very interesting indeed. Axel Kerr is 1.1 seconds back from them, as Evil Dragon had a little bit of a stinker in the final sector, or lost a little bit of time somewhere in that lap, even though he apparently went purple in the final sector. But Jamie Matt is in 5th, 2 seconds behind Evil Dragon, and I imagine, and I think Evil Dragon's pace will be enough to keep him behind, or keep him in front. Here to walk. P6 as Ibo picks up a 3-second penalty. Harry Noir P6, followed by Jay Hings, both of them on worn tires. And then you have Marcy, who's on fresh tires just behind them. It's going to be difficult for him to pass unless he burns all of his overtake, and 3 drivers in front of him have more overtake than he does. So it's going to be a lot of fun for him to try and make that move. But speaking of someone making a move, Evil Dragon around the outside of turn 8. That is bold, and that is courageous there from the Alpine. As he's now up into the podium positions once again, and he's within penalty range of T-Brum, of both T-Brum. Oh my goodness. He's within penalty range of both Connor O'Keefe and T-Brum. So this race could get even more interesting. At this stage, all Evil Dragon has to do is, well, not get a 3-second time penalty, not go off the track. It's easier said than done for these drivers, but I believe that Evil Dragon could disrupt T-Brum's domination streak here in Division 4. Axel P4, Jamie Matt P5, Harry Noir P6, Jay Hinks P7, Marcy P8. Serial Killer is overtaking Energetics for P9 into the penultimate corner as Evil Dragon on those fresh tires absolutely flying along, but trying to stick with those top 2. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be quite the task, as Mark is causing yellow flags in the second sector. Up at turn 8. NL Energetics looking for an overtake possibly on Serial Killer. Mark creating more yellow flags as Energetics is almost pulled an Alonso from 2016. He's off into the gravel, and he's just, well, if I were James Head, I would say he stalled the car and is just waiting in 4th gear for Ibo to go past, as Harry Noir and Jay Hinks both pick up 3-second time penalties. It's old school. What is Mark doing? Hello? What? But yeah, so just watching on board with old school, now down in P16, getting lapped once again. Yeah, so he's, oh, that's sketch. Hey, is that him around again? And that's Mark out. Is that going to be a safety car? Please don't be a safety car. And it's a full safety car, so that keeps, that's going to keep most people from pitting. Ooh, that actually, you know what? That actually makes it a lot more interesting up the front. So Evil Dragon will now be clearly in 3rd position, with the two guys in front of him being both having 3 seconds of penalties. Axel Crows will have to try and hold off Jamie Matt, who's on fresh enters. Then Harry Noir, Jay Hinks, Marcy, all have 3 seconds of penalties, or all have penalties. Harry Noir having 6. And the Serial Killer, Poldy Poles, Ecos Matt, Robertson all on fresh tires. Swip has decided to pit for a new set of intermediate tires. And Energetics has spun. How did you spin there, dog? I'm not really sure how he's gone around there, but yeah, Energetics in P15, and he's going to be into the pit lane. Is he going to retire, or is he just going to... No, it's just first set of intermediate tires in the front wing. So another good result there for Energetics in the bin for the Red Bull driver. He used his pit box, and he probably wasn't at his wheel at the time, but as Just Gamer said in the comments, this is going to be interesting as we get down to the final few laps. So this will be the first lap behind the safety car. So We 100% won't go on this lap, especially since we don't have either Swip or Energetic caught up to the pack. So next lap will be the second lap, so we won't go on the next lap, but we'll definitely go on the next lap. I have work things calling my name, so as soon as this race is over, I will have to be going. I'm just going to notify Division 4 right now. Oh, what the hell? That's a strange place to crash. Energetics has crashed. So Energetics now out of the race. And he did not complete 90% either, so he won't get any points even if he were to be in the top 12, as obviously the top 12 scores here in League of Europe. Yeah, Division. Sorry. I'll just type this message out once again. No interviews once again. Work. Changed my name. Energetic saying in the Division 4 chat he had rear wing damage, so that's why he was spinning so much, but makes sense, I guess. So now with Energetics retiring out on track, we have the safety car in on this lap, and now we can get restarted going on to lap 24, so we'll have 6 laps of racing to go in this one. So yeah, we'll be looking forward to the end of this race with possibly a new winner on our hands. Evil Dragon not being here for many races. We'll look in the standings. Evil Dragon is on a solid, if I can find his name, 3 points, and he's only done 1 race, which was in Britain. Did not start last week, but possibly looking to be on for a win here. Is Old School in the chat after retiring is rooting for Evil Dragon in the stream comments. T-Brub will lead here on the safety car restart, followed by Connor O'Keefe, as it has been for most of the race. Now is around lap 24. Evil Dragon in P3, followed by Axel, Jamie Matt, Harry DeWarg, P6, Jay Hings, P7, and the Marcy Serial Killer. And Poldy Pulls. Speaking of Poldy Pulls, he's looking for a move on Serial Killer into turn 3. He's not going to be quite close enough. Ecos, Mats, and Robertson have been going at it all race so far. And Robertson looking to make a move on the Mercedes driver, but not quite close enough here on the restart. But he'll have 6 laps of action, well, 5.5 now, to try and make that overtake stick. The battle that I really want to be watching is Marcy versus Jay Hings, but I'm not sure if Marcy will be able to keep up with Jay Hings. I'm not entirely sure. But we'll watch Poldy Pulls and Serial Killer. Serial Killer already used 1/3 of his battery, and now even more as he's trying to defend from Poldy Pulls, who has an immense amount of straight line speed. But into turn 9, the Haas driver not quite close enough to make any impression on the Ferrari so far. Is he going to be able to do anything down towards turn 11? No, he's not going to be close enough. Didn't have the greatest runs. Marcy on Jay Hings, not quite close enough. And Jay Hings into turn 11. Trying to stick onto the back of Harry Noir, who's struggling to stick with Jamie Ment, who should be able to get onto the back of Axel Kurz, who, he has a 9-lap tire advantage, but you never really know. Axel Kurz struggling to stick with the top 3. Evil Dragon being on fresh tires. Connor O'Keefe and T-Bro have been absolutely dominant pace-wise this entire race. Do we have any battles on track? Do we have any close gaps? Not really as we head into turn 1. Turn 1, not really an overtaking place. But turn 2, much more of an overtaking place. You can get a longer slipstream, and you can use your ERS, and it's a pretty slow corner, so you can make overtake stick. Marcy on Jay Hings, no, not close. Robertson and Mats, nope, not close either. So we'll have another few corners of straight line action. Almost like it's the division, almost like we're in Division 1 here. Oh no! No! Evil Dragon on lap 25 of 29 of having almost a sealed race victory has pulled a me and picked up a 3-second time penalty when he was on for a race victory. That's absolutely unbelievable from the man himself. But he's still on for a podium. Actually, maybe not, because Axel Kurz is within his 3-second time window, but I'd find it difficult to imagine where Axel Kurz stays in that with however many, the laps remaining that we have. But Jamie Met in 5th, Harry Noir, Jenkins 6th and 7th. Any close battles? Ecos Mats on the back of Poldy Poles. Robert Sum up the inside, almost of Ecos Mats into the penultimate corner into turn 13 as T-Rum sets the fastest lap of the race, so 128.570. It's ridiculous that he's still out leading this one. Connor O'Keefe could easily, well, not easily, could have a good shot at overtaking him. So could Evil Dragon on the both of them with his having T-Rum and Connor O'Keefe having the double amount of laps done on their tires compared to Evil Dragon at this point, 18 compared to 9. Once again, no overtakes in the middle pack of the train. Poldy Poles unable to do anything towards Serial Killer's lead over him, and neither is Matt or Robert Sum. But up at the front, T-Brum still leading by 0.6 of a second. Unable to do anything using his ERS to defend from Connor O'Keefe. I don't know why he's using so much, because Connor O'Keefe could just save, but Connor O'Keefe, purple middle sector, Evil Dragon trying to follow these guys. He's not using enough curb. Evil Dragon, please use more curb. It'll help my sanity. But unable to stick with these guys, it seems, at the time being. Maybe his tires just slightly going off. Connor O'Keefe made a little bit of a mistake, losing quite a decent chunk of time there, because, you know, those 4 or 5 tenths can mean everything in a race like this. So T-Rub now on for the race victory. Once again, Axel Kerr is looking for a 4th place, which would be a pretty good result for him. JP Met in 5th. And then we have Harry Noir, Jay Hings, and Marcy 6th, 7th, and 8th. And then Serial Killer, followed by Poldy Poles as T-Brum sits the fastest lap of the race. Once again, another 128.4. Yeah, we can pull up the 3-second time penalties now. Oh. Yeah, as Marcy picks up another 3 seconds, which is going to put him on 6th, which will put him possibly behind Robertson, depending on how the rest of the race goes, or if we are on lap 27. Just heading through the first sector is everybody. But yeah, it does look like T-Brum is going to be winning this race as it stands right now. I'm trying my best, Mark and Jess, to give him the commentator's curve, but I don't think it's really working, to be completely honest. He's bound to win this one. He's got to win it. Hello, Racing Gods. He's got to win the race. But, yeah, Connor O'Keefe in 2nd. Evil Dragon in 3rd. He's getting closer to Connor O'Keefe, but not quite close enough. It's not going to be enough to make it overtake 4 tenths, unless your name is Rudy. But, yeah, personally, I wouldn't follow in his footsteps. But Axel Kerr still in 4th. Jamie Met getting onto the back of the Haas. So Jamie Met looking to possibly pick up a P4, which would be a good result for him. Harry Noir still leading Jay Hings, Marcy, Serial Killer, who has been dropped from theoretical DRS range, even though this entire race has been wet, but still, I could hope. Now on to lap 28, T-Brum still pulling away from Connor O'Keefe, unable to do anything really, is the McLaren driver. Someone who might be able to do something though. Evil Dragon, he looks to the outside of turn 3, he brakes super late, or Connor O'Keefe was just braking early. He's around the outside as the Alpine, but he doesn't have the juice, he doesn't have the sauce to keep it up the inside through turn 4, but that was quite the maneuver there from Evil Dragon, trying it around the outside, but his effort has been valiant so far, but unable to do too much with his position. Axel Cruz still in 4th with almost no ERS. J-Man has a lot more, so I don't know how he isn't attacking yet, but yeah, no real close gaps. I mean, we have Poldy Poles and Serial Killer for P9. Mats and Robertson still unable to make any overtakes behind them. Poldy Poles looking to the outside. Serial Killer goes defensive into 9, which is an interesting choice there. As now, Poldy Poles should get the better run. Serial Killer has no ERS to defend with. Oh, he squeezed into the grass! And Poldy Poles with an absolutely amazing save, showing his car control there. That might just be a penalty there for Serial Killer. but yeah, it's difficult to say. But Poldypole is now down to P12, and here we go with Evil Dragon just saying that he might just be saving his ERS for the final lap, as Poldypole has spun now. He's going to be behind Swip on track, but Evil Dragon has no ERS to use here on the final lap, and Connor O'Keefe has everything that he needs to defend. So it does look like T-Brum's going to win, as Evil Dragon is still showing how late he can brake there at turn 3. But unable to do anything in the rest of the lap to get close enough. Mats and Serial Killer are getting close, but not close enough as the Mercedes driver, as Poldypole has retired on the straight. We'll see what has happened here. Did he crash, or did he just retire? Yeah, it looks like he crashed. Legit. But as it looks like there will be no important moves made here on the final lap, we'll go on board with T-Brum, who's showed the pace all day, had a little challenge from Connor O'Keefe, and a slight threat from Evil Dragon in the end, but the penalties and the mistakes came in for both of them, and T-Brum did not make any besides the 3 that gave him his penalty. We are on the final lap here in Melbourne, and it looks like T-Brum is going to win another race this season. He rounds the penultimate corner, and he comes around turn 14 for the final time, for the 29th time, and a little bit of a slide just to spite his enemies, and he's going to come across the line to win here in Australia and take maximum points from this weekend, 26 points to his name. Connor O'Keefe, second in the championship, will lose 8 points to his main championship rival. Evil Dragon picks up a solid amount of points for his championship bid. Obviously not going for the championship, but you know what I mean. He will finish on the podium and will get his first podium of the season. Axel occurs in 4th, a decent result for him and for the Haas team, as Poldypole was in good position, but obviously we saw what happened there. Jamie Met in 5th, Serial Killer in 6th, a decent result there for Ferrari. Ecos Mats in 7th for Mercedes, and then Jay Hings followed by Harry Noir, Robert Sum, Marcy, and Swip as... Where is Marcy? Oh, he's on the pit straight, in the pit lane. And Swip in P12. Ibbo will come across the line as our last finisher in P13. And as I have already exclaimed to the audience, no interviews because work is calling my name, and my dad desperately needs me to help him with something. As Evil Dragon earns the driver of the day, I will accept that, I think. I think Evil Dragon put on a very good performance for the fans there. As you can see, T-Brum and Brendan Lee walking through the tunnel, and is walking his way to a championship, really. Here's T-Brum, the Canadian. Will take the win from pole position and the fastest lap. Connor O'Keefe in 2nd, followed by Evil Dragon, then Axel, Jamie Met, Serial Killer, Ecos Mats, Jay Hings, Harry Noir, Robert Sum, Marcy, Swip, Ibbo, Poldypoles, Energetics, Old School, Esteban, V.E. Damon, and Saronje, P15, down to 19th, not finishing. Poldypoles not reaching the checkered flag. However, completing 90%, but it doesn't matter because he wasn't in the top 12 either way. But that has been it from the division, the 4th division of the League of Europe. We'll see you again next time at the same exact time, 8:10 on the Saturday evening for. Let me look it up. For the Hungarian Grand Prix in round number 10. So we'll look forward to seeing you there. Go check out Division 1 with James Head and Killer Blue in the Division 1 chat. And also support me a little bit. I'm going to need it for the next week. But as well as Division 3 at the same time at 6:30, half past 6 to next Saturday as well. So we'll look forward to seeing you next time. And for round number 9, that has been